Hello, Stewart Stars. This is your principal, Audra Goodman, coming to you with this week's Star Review. So I want to tell you a little story about my son's open house last week. So he's in high school now, and we were traveling around to all of his classes, and we got to his ELA classroom. And I was watching his very lovely teacher talking about his class and what they were learning. And she said something that was just hilarious to me. She said, currently right now, we are exploring the historical era of the 1980s. And of course, a lot of the parents, because we are all from the 1980s, they giggled and laughed. And she said, I know that sounds really strange, but you need to understand that during that time, there was no internet, there was no smartphones, no touchscreens, no Bluetooth. The list goes on and on. It was kind of the last era where students and our society didn't have the current technology that we had. In order to understand historical references and literature and things like that, we actually have to explore that now as part of the curriculum. So as much as it was funny, she is right. We are in a very different period of time. Our kids do not know a world without this amazing technology. But with that technology, there comes some good and there comes some bad. And I will say that it got me thinking a lot about the impacts of technology on our students. Now, lately, I have noticed a huge increase of students having cell phones and smartwatches, especially our youngers, which I haven't seen in the past. And I know it's part of our world. I know that they're going to have it, but it can definitely become an issue. There's a big influx. I try to remind students that at school, the expectation at Stewart is that it is put away, it is out of sight, it is out of mind, it is silenced. I don't want to see earbuds in their ears. I don't want them checking their phones. I don't want them playing on watches, because technology, as much as it is amazing, it's also a huge distraction. And they also have this little personal computer at their hands, and they have access to everything you can imagine at the tips of their fingers, and they're not always emotionally prepared for those kinds of interactions and what can be received on the other end. So with that said, I really encourage you to do a couple of things. One, talk to your kids about technology. Talk about the dangers, talk about appropriate use, talk about what to be careful of when they're searching on phones and different types of internet. And I also ask you to please remind them that at school that these items are put away. Help them remember to silence it and put it away in their backpacks before they leave to school. And we do have a cell phone policy, so I will review that with you, just so you're aware. And kids really are really great at it. It's not a huge problem, but I really wanted to put out this reminder. So the first time we catch them, now we know that we're going to see it, and we might ask them to put away, but really the cell phone violations and the technology violations are if they're engaging and using the technology. So let's say we catch them on their phone taking a picture or texting someone. The first violation is to turn it into the main office for the day. We never touch your student's phone. They bring it up, they power it off, they put it away. And then they get it back at the end of the day, no harm, no foul. Whatever, we went over the policy with them. The second time they turn it in at the main office, and we will give you a call to let you know that it happened and talk to the student and give them a little bit longer of a chat about it. The third violation, they'll turn it into the main office, and we will call and want a conference with you on the phone or in person with your student, just so they're understanding that we can't keep doing this. And the fourth violation, we do ask that you pick it up instead of giving it back to the student, and then we do an in-person conference. And the fifth time, we ask that they check it in daily if it's really needed, or they just keep it at home. So we don't have a ton of problems with it, but I wanted to make sure you are aware that we do have that policy and that it's for your students' safety and emotional well-being. And if you ever need to give your students a message, just call the office. We are more than happy to communicate those things without you having to text and having them check their phones throughout the day. All right. With that said, we are going to get to our Parent Star Support Tip of the Week, and we are talking about practicing and teaching your child listening skills. So the most important part of communication isn't always talking. Sometimes it's listening, and listening can be hard for kids, especially in an age of technology where they get little bites of things really fast when they're watching like YouTube or internet, and so they kind of have lost that ability to really listen sometimes, especially during longer periods. So here's a couple of things that I'm going to read, and I just want you in your mind to answer yes or no to see if you are showing your child how to become a good listener. So 1, yes or no, do you try to give your child undivided attention when they are talking? If you're busy, just tell your child you can listen attentively and then do so. Are you patient when you listen? Sometimes it may take a while for kids to actually say what they want to say, so it takes a little bit of time. Do you avoid interrupting your child? Ask your child not to interrupt you either. Do you listen to your child's behavior? A child who is acting up, they're trying to communicate something. Sometimes it's just hard and frustrating to figure out what that is. Do you avoid chiming in with the right answer? Instead, listen to what your child thinks and let them kind of work through that without chiming in and just answering it for them. So if you answered mostly yes to all these things, then yes, you are absolutely teaching your child how to listen. But for each one that you answered no, try to the idea that we said. All right, dates to know that are coming up. Fall Picture Day is going to be on October 16th. That is also the day of our Great Shakeout Earthquake Drill. Our conferences are the 21st to the 23rd, and conference scheduling starts tomorrow, so be on the lookout for your teacher's communication for that. And then we have a PTA-sponsored Fall Carnival on October 30th, which is super fun. That's a Thursday night. We hope everyone can come. RSVP will go up for that soon. And the week of the 27th through the 31st will be a Fall Spirit Week. I will get out more information about that soon. And also, we still currently have our PTA membership drive. PTA does so much for Stuart. I really ask that you please support them the best that you can if possible. We're having a competition where the grade level with the highest percentage of families that joined will get a pizza party for their kids. So it's just a fun incentive. If you can't join, no worries. We absolutely understand. You'll still reap the benefits, but we'd love any support we have. So thank you so much. We appreciate you all. And remember, at Stuart, stars will always rise.